So in this video, we're going to be looking at wages, not to be mixed up with salary. Now, the book says wages are payment for work that are usually paid out weekly. And wages can be broken down into time rate or piece rate, and both have relative advantages and disadvantages. We're going to do a silly story to try and explain the two concepts and their advantages and disadvantages. So bear with me. In this silly story, we're going to be basing it on a farm where the farmer makes wine and needs to pick grapes, and he's in a rush. Now, the farmer puts out an advert, and he puts out an advert using the system of time rate. You can see on my screen, time rate is 10 euros per hour. The definition's up there as well. So what does this mean? He will pay 10 euros for every hour you work on the farm. Now, at this point, I want you to picture someone really quite annoying in your class, wants loads of money, but quite lazy is how we normally do it. I'm going to call him Johnny in my example. So Johnny appears and Johnny says, great, I'll do this job. Farmer explains the task. He says, look, it's simple. All I need you to do is pick all the grapes off the vine and put them in the wheelbarrow, and I'll pay you for every hour that you're working. The only catch in this, it is simple work, but it's a really hot day and we've got to do it in a rush. We've got like 35 degrees. The sun is baking down. But the farmer says, well, 10 euros is a good amount of money. I can trust this person. So the farmer goes off, and in the meantime, Johnny's not stupid. How does he get on during the day? Well, he's fast asleep. Because Johnny's not stupid. He's worked out that, hang on a minute, if I'm getting paid per hour, then there's no point in rushing this and killing myself in this heat. The slower I do it, the more I'll get paid. So he, once the farmer's away, lies down in the cool shade and doesn't pick many grapes. At the end of the day, there he is with his pile of grapes. Not a big pile, but the farmer's got nothing to do but say, well, you've worked for 8 hours, therefore I need to pay you 80 euros. The farmer thinks about this. He believes in Taylor, one of the theories, more money, better work. So he says, well, I know what I'll do. That wasn't good enough. We haven't got all the grapes in. I'm going to increase the hourly rate. So he ups it to 20 euros an hour. And he thinks, now this will be brilliant. Now I'll really get a good worker. But Johnny's back again. Johnny, oh no, sorry about that. I'll work harder this time. So Johnny says, definitely. He ups the rate to 20 euros. Now have a think, is Johnny going to work any better? Again, Johnny's not stupid. So Johnny says, well, hang on. Now it's really good job this. I get paid loads of money. I definitely don't want to rush it and spoil it for myself. So he gets back in the shade under the tree and he picks the same or even less grapes. This system so far has not worked on this farm. So he has a rethink and he says, well, hang on, this method of paying every hour time rate is not very good. Let's try another one. I'm going to try piece rate. So we can see on the definition there, piece rate is when you will pay amount for a unit of output. So in this case, he says, well, I'm going to pay 20 euros for every wheelbarrow that is full of grapes. Have a little think about what that does. Good system. Johnny's back again, but this time, is Johnny going to be asleep under the tree? Well, absolutely not. There's no point. If Johnny wants to sleep, he might as well be at home in the comfort of his bed, because he's not getting paid when he's asleep. He's only getting paid for the full wheelbarrow. So he rushes around like absolute crazy in my diagram, and he fills up as many wheelbarrows as possible, meeting the farmer's objective. The farmer's got all of the grapes collected in a short period of time, and then he pays him for each wheelbarrow. Great system. So it seems that piece rate has been the better system for payment in this workplace scenario. But again, can you think of any problems? Well, there we go. After he's gone, you might find that we've got a load of worms or maggots in the grapes, because let's go back to Johnny. Yes, he was working very quickly, but let's just say Johnny picks up a bunch of grapes and the grapes are not a very nice bunch of grapes. They're a bit rotten. Is Johnny stupid? Would Johnny put them back on the floor, or would he say, well, stuff it, let's put it in the wheelbarrow, because if not, I'm not going to fill the wheelbarrow. So he's not so worried about quality. So which of those two is better? Well, I don't know. It's the difficult situation, hence why it varies with business, it varies with employees, and you've got to have a think. Both have pros and cons. So to take it back to the exam, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each? But I really prefer you understand it, which hopefully we've got. The advantages of time rate, you can see on my screen. It's pretty easy to calculate and understand. You work 2 hours at 10 euros an hour, 20 euros, nice and simple. Just log in the morning, log out in the afternoon. Secondly, it encourages quality work. He wouldn't have put the maggots into the wheelbarrow in the first scenario. It's suitable for jobs where output is hard to measure. Me as a teacher, you couldn't put me on piece rate because I don't really do anything piece rate. I have to be paid in a certain way, which is more actually salary than time rate, but piece rate wouldn't work for teachers. Disadvantages, well, there's no direct link between pay and effort. It wasn't, in that situation, it wasn't worth working hard and killing yourself in the sun. In fact, if you worked slower, you had a better job and you had more work to do later on, you ultimately got paid more. It requires supervision. That farmer couldn't go off and leave Johnny because Johnny got lazy. And tied into those, I suppose it's a bit similar, and I wouldn't repeat them, but lower motivation. Johnny has got no reason to particularly be motivated and work hard. He might as well just sleep under a bush. Going to piece rate then, advantages, well, it encourages high output. Johnny was running around to fill that wheelbarrow. He definitely got high output. There is a link between pay and effort, not necessarily quality though. The more effort he put in, the more wheelbarrows he filled. If you want to go and be lazy, well, you're not going to get paid very much. So lazy people don't apply. You just sleep at home in bed. And it may reduce the need for supervision because the farmer can just go away. If he's not worried about quality, just off you go, get on with it. Because there's no point. They're not going to be being lazy, sleeping under a tree. The disadvantages of piece rate, as we said, the maggots in the grape, it may reduce the quality. Workers are going to rush because there's no point being precious. If so, they don't get paid. The workers may feel pressured. They've got to rush. If not, then how are they going to feed their family? I've got to get these grapes in. If machinery breaks, this is disaster because I'm spending my day here and I'm not going to earn any money and pay my family. And finally, as we said, it's not suitable for all jobs. You can't do it. So that's it. Quick run through of piece rate and time rate. Hope it helps. Put any questions down below if you're not sure.